ABC Kinderteach presents A Hen for Izzy Pippik, written by Aubrey Davis, illustrated by Marie LaFrance. Shayna perched or sat on the porch with her eyes shut and listened. Mama's sewing machine chattered in the kitchen, which it made the sewing machine sounds going. Baby Pincus pounded a pot. There's Baby Pincus. Grandpa whistled an old-time tune. In the market across the road, a nanny goat bleated. That's a female goat or girl goat making ba sounds. A truck puttered past, which means it drove past slowly. A cuckoo cooed from Mr. Fine's clock shop. And that's a cuckoo clock, and every so often, I think on the hour, this little cuckoo pops out, goes cuckoo, cuckoo. Shayna wished she could still dust for Mr. Fine. She wished she could help the other merchants, people who sold things too. But people had little to spend these days. There were few shoppers in the market and fewer jobs to do. Times were tough. People were poor. So she wanted to work for some of the other people in this little town, but they were not making very much money, so they could not afford to hire her to do some work. So things were really pretty bad for the people in the town. Suddenly, Shayna felt a pickety, or a sharp, peck on her toe. She jumped up and her eyes popped open. Meow! It's a chicken, she gasped. Shayna had never seen such a magnificent, or very pretty, hen. She had emerald green feathers with golden speckles, and emerald green looks like this, and a ruby red comb. That's the red skin on top of her head. Where did you come from? Are you lost? Bark! Shayna picked her up and smoothed her feathers. Don't worry, little chicken. I'll find out where you live. The hen snuggled in her arms as Shayna raced across the road to the market. She showed the hen to every shopkeeper and peddler. That's someone who goes place to place selling things. But nobody had ever seen the beautiful bird before. I wish you could tell me where you belong, sighed Shayna. Buck, buck, buck. Suddenly she spotted two muddy tracks in the road. She followed them to a pothole. A pothole looks like this. It's just a hole in the road. Beside it sat a broken wooden crate with a sign that read, Izzy Pippik, chickens and eggs. Shayna grabbed the crate and raced home with the hen squawking behind her. So the hen must have fell off the truck, and when it landed it broke the crate and it escaped and went to find Shayna. Mama gasped, which means breathing quickly out of surprise, like Pincus gurgled. That's the sound like you get when you pour water from a bottle. Go gug 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 gug. Grandpa smacked his lips. Chicken soup, he asked. He wants to eat the chicken and make chicken soup. Fricassee, replied Mama, and fricassee is just a meat in a white sauce. So she wants to eat the hen too. We can't eat her, Shayna cried. She belongs to Izzy Pippik. Who's he? Mama asked. Shayna pointed to his name on the crate. It's his crate, so it's his chicken. I think she escaped when it fell off his truck. The hen fluttered, or flew lightly, onto her shoulder. Mama, can I keep her until Izzy Pippik returns? Who says he's coming back, Shayna? He has to, Mama. She's so beautiful. Winking at Shayna, Grandpa took Mama's hand. What's it going to hurt? He asked. Mama sighed. For a few days, maybe. So she says, you can keep the hen for just a few days until Izzy Pippik comes back but no longer. So we'll see how that works out. Grandpa helped Shayna make a nest from the grate. She carefully set the hen inside. "I'll call you Yevka," she said. Grandpa grinned. "Oh, that's a pretty name, Shanela." Early the next morning, Yevka cackled, loudly made a chicken sound. The sleepy family shuffled, which means walked without picking up their feet, to the nest where a pearly, this color, egg glowed, seemed to shine, in the straw. "Scrambled?" asked Grandpa. So he wanted to scramble the egg. "Poached?" replied Mama. So a poached egg is if you break the egg open and you pour it into water and you cook it in the water out of its shell. That's what poached really means. Baby Pincus burped. "We can't eat this egg," Shayna frowned. "Why not?" Mama asked. "If it's Izzy Pippik's hen, it's his egg too." "Eggs don't keep forever," muttered, or said in a quiet voice, Grandpa. Shayna laughed. "Mr. Pippik will come before then, so..." Some time has passed, and she keeps saying that Izzy Pippik is going to come, but he hasn't come yet. In a few weeks, 12 fuzzy chicks were peeping and pecking and poking about. So now it's been several weeks, not just a couple days, just several weeks. So maybe Mama is getting tired of having the hen and her chicks running around. We'll see. They ate the baby's biscuits and spilled Grandpa's soup. They scratched Mama's stockings to pieces. They grew peskier, caused more and more trouble by the day, and Mama's grumbles, complains in a low voice, grew with them. So she's saying, "Oh, these chickens and these hens are just driving me crazy." "Shayna," whispered Grandpa, "Mr. Pippik had better hurry." "He won't be long, Grandpa." One day, 2 young roosters began to squabble, fight in a noisy way, and the whole flock joined in. Teacups crashed, saucers smashed, feathers filled the air. I'm thinking Mama's not very happy about that, breaking her teacups and her plates. Mama stormed, moved in an angry way, to the cupboard and snatched a broom. "This is not a hen house," she hollered. "These birds have got to go." "Please, Mama," Shayna begged, "let them stay." But Mama was in a foul or bad mood. She raised her broom and charged, ran towards them in a grouchy way. Squawking chickens flew out the door and onto the road. So she had had enough with the chickens living in the house, so she said, "You're out." I wonder what's going to happen to the chickens now. The street sweeper gasped. The postman laughed. The beggar smacked his lips like, those look good. "Boiled?" he asked. "Baked," replied the postman. "Catch them," the sweeper cried. So everybody's hunting the chickens so that they can eat them. With hoots and hollers, the townsfolk poured into the market. They chased the birds under push carts, and that's what a push cart looks like right there, over crates, and all around the square. Are they going to catch them and they're going to eat them? I don't know. I wonder if Shayna is going to come to their rescue. Let's see. Oh, there she is too. "Leave them alone," shouted Shayna. "You can't eat these chickens." With hot, hungry eyes, the people swarmed around. "Why not?" they howled. Shayna explained that they belonged to Izzy Pippik. "You silly girl," they sneered, said in a mean way. "He's not coming back." "Yes, he will," Shayna snapped, said in a grouchy way. So they don't have much money, so they're all kind of hungry. So when they see the chickens running around, they're thinking, this could make my stomach full for at least a day. Grandpa pushed through the crowd and held her tight.
This is how you treat an honest little girl?
He thundered, said loudly.
It'll hurt to wait and see.
So it's like, let's just wait. The people blushed, which means their face turned red because they felt bad, and lowered their eyes. One by one, they shuffled away. So Grandpa got after them, and they kind of felt bad.
For now, the birds are safe, Grandpa murmured. But your Izzy Pippik had better come soon.
Shayna kissed his cheek. He will, Grandpa. But Izzy Pippik didn't come. As the months passed, Yevka's chicks grew and had chicks of their own. Then they grew up and had chicks too. Before long, roosters crowed from rooftops and hens nested in every nook, corner, or small empty space. Hundreds of chickens flapped about the square. They toppled trash cans, fought for food, and cackled from morning to night. They grew rowdier, noisier, and less behaved by the day, and the people's grumbles grew with them. So they're getting tired of these chickens. I wonder what's going to happen.
You're a hard-headed nuisance, Shayna, they hissed. Your Pippik will never come.
Yes, he will, she shouted, and a nuisance is just something that bothers others. Still, he didn't come, though other people did. By foot and by car they trekked or came into town. Soon, curious sightseers rolled in by the busload to see the great flock. So everybody's wanting to see the chickens. I wonder if they're going to buy stuff as well. And each night they left with shopping bags bursting with socks, dishes, bagels, and more. Every shop in town was open and every shelf was full. So people came to see the chickens, and then they bought stuff, so people in the town were very happy. With business booming, doing well, people forgot their anger, and Shayna found plenty of jobs again. One day she was spreading ice for the fishmonger, someone who sells fish. Your chickens make us so happy, he said.
They're not mine, snapped Shayna. They belong to Izzy Pippik, so they'll all have to go.
You're always saying that, wailed the fishmonger. Can't you see that they belong here? A cautious crowd gathered. They moaned and muttered and started to chant. We love them. We need them. We want them to stay. Over the hubbub, the loud noises, a truck horn blared. Auga! I wonder who this could be. Could this be Izzy Pippik coming back for his chickens? Move aside, shouted the driver. You're blocking the road. Just who do you think you are? Someone yelled. The man pointed to the sign on his truck. You can read for yourself, maybe? The people gasped. It's Izzy Pippik. He's come at last, cried Shayna. So there's Izzy Pippik right there. And there is Yevka, the hen that he accidentally lost. Do you think he's going to take the hen back? You think he's going to take the other chickens back? I don't know. She scooped up Yevka and raced to the truck. I'm Shayna, she panted, thrusting, putting in a forceful way, the startled bird, or a little bit surprised bird, into his hands. My precious, or valuable, hen, Pippik cried. You found her. I kept her for you, Shayna declared, and the others too. Izzy Pippik scratched his beard. What others? Shayna pointed to the enormous flock fluttering about the square. But I only lost this hen, he said. These are her chicks, chicks, and her chicks, chicks, she explained. If she's yours, they're all yours. The hen struggled in Izzy Pippik's arms. It wants to get away from him and go back to the girl, I think. Yevka, you must go with him, Shayna whispered. Do you think he's going to take the hen? And maybe all the other chickens? I'm thinking maybe not. Maybe, but maybe not. The crowd began to howl, which means making sad noises. Please don't take our chickens. They've brought us such good fortune. And good fortune means they've been lucky for them. Izzy Pippik looked at the anxious or nervous people and the contented flock, or the happy and peaceful flock. He peered, looked closely, into Shayna's unshakable eyes. She did not look away. All these birds are really mine? He asked. Yes, Mr. Pippik. Shayna beamed, smiled happily. He lovingly stroked Yevka's feathers. Uh-oh, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? I think he's gonna leave them because he doesn't want to make everybody upset. Especially Shayna. Suddenly he tossed the hen out the truck window.
What are you doing, Mr. Pippik?
Shayna gasped. I'm giving Yevka to you and her flock to the town.
But you can't.
If they're mine to have, he chuckled, laughed quietly, they're mine to give. Then Izzy Pippik blasted his horn, ahooga, with a warm-hearted wave. He puttered off through the cheering crowd, so they're all excited because they get to keep all the chickens. Shayna burst into tears. Grandpa rushed over and she buried her face in his coat.
You were right, Shayna, he murmured. Izzy Pippik did come.
But he didn't take his chickens, she sobbed or cried loudly.
Yes, he exclaimed. Isn't it wonderful?
Shayna was shocked. But they're his.
Are they, Shanela? Listen.
Shayna closed her eyes. Roosters crowed, children cheered, hens cackled with glee or happiness. So she realizes that the chickens and the hens want to be there and that they're going to be happy here. Happy days are here again, the crowd merrily cried, said because they were happy. Suddenly, Shayna felt a pickety-peck on her toe and her eyes popped open. She gazed thoughtfully at her feathered friend as the merriment, people having a good time, chimed, could be heard, in her ears. Suddenly, she burst out laughing. Everyone knows it but me. You belong right here. Bark! The hen fluttered into her arms. Welcome home, Yevka, she cooed. Bark!